What if the wise men never stopped in Bethlehem? What if, instead of bowing before the newborn child, they just kept walking, eyes fixed on the star, step after step, across deserts, rivers, mountains, and seas? Imagine the story rewritten, not as a destination reached, but as an endless journey toward a light that is always ahead, always out of reach. Think about the life we live today. So many of us are also walking towards something shining in the distance. Maybe it is success. Maybe it is wealth. Maybe it is recognition. We tell ourselves that if we just keep moving, if we just stay focused, one day we will arrive. But what if the arrival never comes? What if, like the wise men in this thought experiment, the light keeps shifting, pulling us further and further away from where we were meant to pause, reflect, and recognize what truly matters? If the wise men had kept walking, they would have crossed oceans, wandered into strange lands, spiraled endlessly around the earth, chasing a star that never stood still. Their journey would become less about finding the child and more about sustaining their pursuit. Isn't that a mirror of how many of us live? We begin with a purpose, but over time the purpose fades, and the pursuit itself becomes the habit. Work for the sake of work, striving for the sake of striving. But here lies a paradox. If they had kept walking, the wise men would have discovered places they never dreamed of. They would have seen wonders beyond their maps, met people beyond their culture, and uncovered knowledge beyond their scriptures. In chasing a star endlessly, they would lose the child, but perhaps gain the world. And yet, in gaining the world, they would lose the very essence of why they walked in the first place. This paradox is deeply human. To stop is to risk missing out. To keep going is to risk forgetting why we began. Do we measure a meaningful life by the treasures we collect along the way, or by the moment we pause, kneel down, and realize we have already found what we were looking for? Think about relationships. If you always chase the next spark, the next new face, at Meta, sex 0.05, and maybe that is the wisdom we are asked to learn, that the light we chase is not always somewhere else. Sometimes it is here. Sometimes the miracle is not ahead but beneath our feet. So let me ask you, where in your life are you still walking toward a star that never lets you arrive? What if you stopped today? What if you chose to kneel down where you are and discover meaning not in the destination, but in the moment? Here is a challenge for the next 24 hours. Pick one pursuit that has consumed your energy, whether it is scrolling endlessly, overworking, or chasing approval. Pause it, just for a day. Instead, take those hours to notice the ordinary, a conversation, a meal, a silence. Ask yourself, is the light I'm chasing already shining here, quietly, without my pursuit? If you agree that sometimes stopping is the wisest step, comment with a simple 1. If you think chasing is always better than arriving, comment with a 0. And if you feel brave enough, write down in the comments one place where you will pause today. Because in the end, the star was never the destination. It was only the guide. And sometimes, the truest wisdom is knowing when to stop walking.